departure of a very celebratory departure of Bhishma Dev from this world and arrival of Bhishma Dev to the spiritual world. Text 45. Tatra dundu bheyo nedur deva manva vaditata sasamsu sadvo ragyanam khatpetu puspa vristeha. I'll read one more time. Tatra dundu bheyo nedur deva manva vaditata sasamsu sadvo ragyanam khatpetu puspa vristeha. We'll read every word's meaning. Tatra, thereafter. Dundubhya, drums. Nedhu, were sounded. Deva, the demigods from other planets. Manva, men from all countries. Vadita, beaten by. Sasamsu, praised. Sadhva, honest. Ragyanam, by the royal order. Khat, from the sky. Petu, began to fall. Puspa, urstya, shower of all flowers. Translation. Thereafter, both men and demigods sounded drums in honor, and the honest royal order commenced demonstrations of honor and respect. And from the sky fell shower of flowers. We'll read one more time. Thereafter, both men and demigods sounded drums in honor, and the honest royal order commenced demonstrations of honor and respect. And from the sky fell showers of flowers. We'll say some prayers first. Om Gyanatimirandasya Gyananjanaya Shalakya Chakshur Anmilitam Yena Tasmai Shire Guruve Nama Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadatki Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapada Kamlam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savduktam Prijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pradan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitam Cha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinobandho Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namasate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamani Sute Shik Vanchakalpitprasya Cha Kirpa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanbhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namah. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Prasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. We'll read the purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Bhishma Dev was respected both by the human beings and by the demigods. The human beings live on Earth and similar other planets in Bhur and Bhuvar group of planets. But the demigods live in the Swar and the heavenly planets, and all of them knew Bhishma Dev as a great warrior and devotee of the Lord. As a Mahajana or authority, he was on the level of Brahma, Narada, and Shiva, although he was a human being. Qualification on a par with great demigods is possible only by attainment of spiritual perfection. Thus, Bhishma Dev was known all over the universes, and during his time, interplanetary travel was affected by finer methods rather than the futile endeavors of mechanical spacecraft. When the distant planets were informed of the passing away of Bhishma Dev, all the inhabitants of the upper planets as well as of the earth dropped showers of flowers to show respect to the departed great personality. This showering of flowers from heaven is a sign of recognition by great demigods, and it should never be compared to the decoration of a dead body. The body of Bhishma Dev lost its material effects due to being surcharged with spiritual realization. And thus the body was spiritualized, as when iron becomes red hot when it comes in contact with fire. The body of a fully realized soul is not therefore accepted as material. Special ceremonies are observed for such spiritual bodies. The respect and recognition of Bhishma Dev are never to be imitated by artificial means, as it has become a fashion to observe the so-called Jayanti ceremony for any and every common man. According to authorized Shastras, such a Jayanti ceremony for an ordinary man, however exalted he may be materially, is an offense to the Lord, because Jayanti is reserved for the day when the Lord appears on the earth. Bhishma Dev was unique in his activities, and his passing away to the kingdom of God is also unique. Hare Krishna. I seek blessings from all the senior Vaishnavas and devotees to be able to speak on this verse. It's a great honor on this auspicious day of Diwali. First of all, I want to start out by saying a very happy Diwali to everyone who is listening and who's not listening, and the loved ones. And Diwali is a celebration of Lord Rama's return to Ayodhya, and how it was celebrated by the citizens of Ayodhya. And on this auspicious day, we are talking about the celebration of Bhishma Dev going to the spiritual world. And that's a great honor to be discussing the pastimes of Bhishma Dev on this day. What this verse is, there are, in this whole chapter of Bhishma Dev's prayers and departure, there are many, many lessons. And we've been talking for the whole month of holy month of Kartik about all these lessons. Various devotees have shared their perspectives and the what acharyas have told us. And there are many lessons. I myself took copious notes on this. And so now we are discussing the celebration of Lord Bhishma Dev's departure from this world, as well as arrival to the Krishna Dhamas, the kingdom of God. And so, so the first thing, so I've made a few points that I will share. So first of all, this is the month of Kartik, and any devotion we do is multiplied many times, and this devotion is also preparing us for the inevitable when we are going to depart our body as well. And so that's a great time to be preparing for the final exam that we are all going to face, regardless of whatever else happens for all of us for the rest of life. But that inevitable exam is this is the time that we are preparing. And this verse tells us the glorious departure from entry of Bhishma Dev into the spiritual world. So from the scriptures, we learn that there were so many other personalities who departed in a similar fashion, where either Krishna was physically present or the glories of Krishna were being sung at that time, or there was kirtan going on and there were pastimes being rehearsed. So Jatayu is an example that comes to mind, that Lord Rama was personally present. And in our Mahabharata, we've seen Parikshit Maharaj, and recently in our tradition, of course, we have seen Haridas Thakur, even Srila Prabhupada, Gaura Govind Maharaj, and Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. So there are so many numerous examples where there was a glorious departure. And even whether Krishna was present in his names, pastimes, bhajans, or physically present, the demigods similarly showered the flowers, and that was a great celebration. So Bhishma Dev has been called a Mahajan in this verse, And the Acharyas tells us what are the qualifications of, what are the some of the qualifications of Mahajans. And even though this verse is talking about, there is a lot in this verse and in the purport, which we'll get into in a second, but every time we'll read Srimad Bhagavatam, this chapter 9, it is always, it's hard not to little bit talk about the glories of Bhishma Dev as well during the time he was present on this earth. So the qualifications of Mahajana, one of the qualifications of Mahajana is always subordinate to the Lord and never ever complain, neither in words nor in thoughts. So Bhishma Dev endured great difficulties in his life, but not only he never complained in any of the words, but he never complained even in thoughts that why this is happening to me, Lord. He never complained like that. He was always grateful for whatever came his way. Even in the last moments, he was on the bed of arrows, very painful physically, on the bed of arrows, and he never complained even at that time, why me, Lord? So he was always grateful. And we can see that the gratitude is such a big quality to have, that so we can see in the case of Duryodhana, he had every opulence in this world when he was ruling before the Mahabharata war began. But he was completely lacking the gratitude. And so what is the use of having all the opulence when he didn't have gratitude? And on the contrary, Bhishma Dev had gratitude. And although he had many difficulties, there was no peace or harmony at the kingdom, in the kingdom of Hastinapur. But still, Bhishma Dev was grateful, always subordinate to the Lord, and always obeying the orders and playing in the divine play according to and fully aligned with the will of the Lord. So one of the lessons that we can learn from this is that if there is no gratitude, all the opulence is what we have is of no use. All the opulence we have is of no use. And when we have gratitude, then what we don't have doesn't matter. So, and Bhishma Dev taught us with this example that whatever came his way, he was always grateful. Now, the other point we can learn from Bhishma Dev's life is that there are many points we can learn, of course. I'm only touching the surface, which is that he actually took a selfless service vow for his father's wish. And his father's wish was at material platform. So, and then Bhishma Dev stuck true to his vow, but we can see that doing that selfless vow to accommodate his father's wishes also came back in various reactions in the material world. So what we can see here is that the selfless service and love is important, but actually it really matters when we are at a spiritual platform, when we're doing selfless service and devotion rather than selfless service at a material platform. But even then, when all the material reactions were coming at Bhishma Dev, he was always self-satisfied, completely absorbed in the Lord, and he endured great difficulties, including when Draupadi was getting dishonored, and Bhishma Dev could have chastised Duryodhana or even show him his place, but Bhishma Dev was actually absorbed in the full divine play. And how do we understand that? We understand that when Lord Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, and of course Bhishma Dev was not listening with his material ears at that time, but whatever Krishna taught us in Bhagavad Gita, that was Bhishma Dev was reciting in his prayers. For example, that Krishna says to Arjuna that don't worry, pick up your weapon and fight. And guess what? I have already, with my glance, I've already killed these Kauravas. So you just do your duty. And Bhishma Dev hadn't, of course, heard that materially, but Bhishma Dev recited in his prayers that with your glance, Lord Krishna, you just shortened the life of, with your merciful glance, you shortened the life of Kauravas. And then even when Bhishma Dev was leaving his body and he saw the sun was in the right spot, then he started to become quiet in his mind and fully absorbed in the Lord Shri Krishna. And that is what Krishna also says in the last moments, how we should give up our life. So Bhishma Dev was already aware of all the Bhagavad Gita, and that's how we can understand. He understood Lord Krishna as the supreme being and was always fully absorbed. And so he led a perfect life that led to a perfect departure. That is a great example for, actually that perfect life and perfect departure was a great example for all the other souls to follow after Bhishma Dev, that we can learn from and see that how the perfect departures are possible. For such great souls and Mahajanas, there is the departure of the body is no longer a final exam, unlike the conditioned souls. Here in this particular case, when they leave the body, Lord Krishna himself appears, either in form or in his words or pastimes, to take the departed soul and welcome to the spiritual world. So it's not they have already demonstrated they don't need any final exam. The final exam is for us conditioned souls to prepare us for that inevitable moment. And so the other point Srila Prabhupada talks about is Jayanti. And so that is for the Jayanti is for the appearance, for the great souls, whether it is Lord Krishna himself, or we have Gita Jayanti, that's when Bhagavad Gita was spoken. So it should not be taken lightly. And because yesterday we saw that there was a great silence. Even wind guard stopped. The whole universe came to a halt when to pay the respects. So that is what we understand how the glorious departure and the perfect departure happens for the great souls. And then Srila Prabhupada talks about in this purport that the body of such soul is not to be taken as a material body. It is already spiritualized, just like the fire makes the iron red hot and it acquires the quality of fire. Similarly, the body of Bhishma Dev had become spiritualized, and we have seen in other places in scriptures that Krishna can do anything. Krishna can turn matter into spirit and spirit into matter. And here is one example. We can see that the Bhishma Dev's body was no longer at a material platform. It had become completely spiritualized. And then the demigods come out, and they are come out with they are honest, and they come out with their honest intention to honor Bhishma Dev. Now, in the ordinary sense, one would think that for the demigods, the human life is not a very high life, because human beings think, mistakenly takes pride in what they have, but demigods have a lot more than the human life. But then the demigods, in their honest endeavor and intention, come out to shower flowers. And they were in pure consciousness. They were in pure, honest consciousness. And it was their honor as well to be able to shower the flowers from the skies and see the glorious departure of Bhishma Dev. And Srila Prabhupada talks about the futile endeavors of mechanical spacecraft. And there are finer methods for interplanetary travel. and which is a great thing. And Srila Prabhupada had said many times that these space travel and travel to other planets is futile. And what scientists are doing today is trying to find life on other planets, and so they can understand better how the life originated. And we have seen that life comes from life. Even on this earth, no human being has been able to create life, has been able to create soul. So going to other planets is futile, and it's a great wastage of money. On the other hand, what might benefit the scientist is to actually study life on this very planet. We have such a variegatedness of life on this planet, which we are failing to study while we are trying to find life on other planets. And that money can be spent in finding and studying life, not only studying life, but respecting every life. So all living beings can be happy. And also understanding the interdependency of every life on human beings and on every other species of life. Because this is all interconnected. There is a great bio ecosystem that has been created, as we have seen in the Eco Govardhan village, that there is a great ecosystem. And it will be great that if the scientists study the life on this planet and the fact that we need to honor it and understand the interdependency, and all the rainforests that are being decimated to make room for the cattle farming and satisfy the ignorant taste buds of some humans, and that decimating of rainforest is going to catch up with humans, and it's going to be a great devastation like this in the years to come on the environment. So Srila Prabhupada saw all that, and that's why Srila Prabhupada is calling out again that it's futile to go to other planets with biomechanical means and to study life, when we can't even honor the life we already got on this planet and respect the life. And so that's very important. And Srila Prabhupada also talks about the self-sustaining farms. That is how the human civilization should lead their life. And that's also so important that we take note of for us to be living in conjunction with the environment, in alignment with and harmony with nature. Is the answer is the self-sustaining farms. So there are many deeper meanings in this purport. I know this is about the departure of Bhishma Dev, but Srila Prabhupada does talk about in this purport that to remind us that how important it is to stay grounded on this planet and the life we have already got, and spend our time and money and energies in the right endeavors. And then we have in the last line of this purport, Srila Prabhupada talks about that Bhishma Dev was unique in his activities, and his passing away to the kingdom of God is also unique. So of course, we understand already that there is an immense amount of variegatedness in this world. So every individual soul is unique personality. And no two human beings are the same, no two animal species are the same, and no two, even when it snows, even no two snowflakes are the same. So Krishna has created that variegatedness for us to understand and appreciate his glories and his energies. But Bhishma Dev is unique. Of course, every individual is unique, but Bhishma Dev in this case is more unique than a conditioned soul, and in the way Bhishma Dev led his life. And because of that, the departure is also considered unique. which is it's a unique, special, and perfect departure. So it's unique in the sense of it's unique, of course it's unique, but then it's unique plus special plus perfect. So in that way, it's unique is how we understand Bhishma Dev's departure. So there are many other, every time we read this purpose and verses, there are more and more deeper meanings come to mind. And like I said, I've been making notes. It's been an honor listening to all the devotees in reading all the various verses and having different realizations. Like Mohan Lila Prabhu said a couple of weeks ago, is the 80% is the common themes that emerge to everyone else, but then there is a 20% that unique perspective every devotee brings. So it's a great honor to be talking about this verse on this auspicious day of Diwali as well, in the holy month of Kartik. So I will pause here and very open and interested in if devotees have other reflections, realizations, comments, and or questions.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, this is Sachi Sutadas. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhu, I like the point which you touch based upon gratitude, emphasizing when there is no gratitude, it has no meaning for all other opulences what you have, and vice versa. When you have a gratitude, even if you don't have opulences, it makes a big thing. And it brings remembering like gratitude is a seed of love, and how Bhishma Dev had the selfless gratitude in his binded in his nature. Now that point was very powerful and inspiring to me, especially like how much we are indebted to the resources and everything that is being provided by Krishna. And the greatest opportunity is somehow or other through the prayers of Srila Prabhupada, that we are connected through Krishna consciousness, and we are getting benefited through the association. So thank you very much for giving that orientation. Thanks a lot, Prabhu.
Yes, Hare Krishna. Thank you for sharing that. Yes, Prabhuji, I was reflecting on that. You're right. Gratitude is a seed of love, and humility feeds gratitude, and gratitude also feeds humility. Just understanding that we came in this world with nothing, and we are actually being provided for with so many resources, with so many opportunities for relationships, as well as the whole gratitude towards Srila Prabhupada and all the acharyas for us, for what the sacrifices they made for the well-being of us. So the more, as we write, and we can write about so many things that we can be grateful for. And more we write and reflect on those grateful things, we can see that it makes us even more humble. That even though we may not have deserved all the things we have, because we came on this world with nothing, and we are guests on this earth. We are not the owner, on this prithvi, we are the guest. And then we are provided for with so many relationships, so many beautiful scriptures, and so many resources to live our life. And there is nothing to be ungrateful for, actually. If we start to count what we have and be grateful for, and we start to write those things down, it brings in even more humility, and then more humility feeds more gratitude, and more gratitude feeds more humility, and so the seed starts to sprout of love. Thank you, Prabhuji, for sharing that.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu. I mean, every time I hear from you, you talk about gratitude. It's very, very, I mean, good to hear you connect, I mean, all the verses, right, to the gratitude. And in this case, I mean, Bhishma Dev is, I mean, the way he started is never complained, whatever situation he is in. So he was in. So I was just reflecting, I mean, to what Sachichuta Prabhu said, right? So it was, I mean, the way you mentioned about the gratitude, yeah, I mean, I was thinking the same point, Prabhu. I mean, whatever we have in life, if we are not grateful, I mean, whatever Krishna gave it, right, then there is no way that we will be satisfied, right? So, I mean, it's, and if even if you don't have it, I mean, it's not like, I mean, we see, I mean, happiness or whatever, even in this material world, right? I mean, the happiness that is there is not based on what we have it. I mean, what we have it means, I mean, from the wealth perspective or from the whatever other, maybe health, wealth, whatever it is. So in this case, Bhishma Dev is sitting on the deathbed. So, but still he was, I mean, the way he was talking so far, right? I mean, the previous verses. So it was like very great. So I was just appreciating Prabhu that, I mean, he never complained in whatever situation he was there. He was feeling sorry for the others, kind of. But I mean, because they went through so many troubles. I mean, he was, I mean, sorry means, yeah, he was saying that they went all troubles, but he was not talking about himself, right? So even at that situation, so it was very, yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu. So,
Yeah. Yes, Prabhuji, because Bhishma Dev's care for others was very authentic, 100% authentic. It was not that, yes, because Bhishma Dev was a perfectly realized soul. And so it was not like, let me make an endeavor to care for others. It was not that. It was like he was so perfectly realized that he was caring for others naturally. There was no endeavor needed. And similarly, seeing the hand of Krishna in the divine play and being completely surrendered to him, that was Bhishmadev's consciousness, regardless of whatever material thing, whatever things, unpleasant events happened at the material platform. His consciousness was pure. This is his consciousness was one of complete surrender and subordination to the Lord, and being completely aligned with the plan of Krishna. And with that mood and that surrender mood, Bhishmadev it came naturally to Bhishmadev to be caring for others, even when he would have been in a very miserable position materially on a bed of arrows. Thank you, Prabhuji, for reinforcing that.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhu, I was thinking when you were mentioning the gratitude, I was thinking of Krishnanandini Mataji, and I was remembering her, and that's how she was. Always giving, and never complaining, even though she also went through very difficult circumstances. And she was so much full of love, of compassion. So I just thought I would share that. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji. Yes, yeah, Krishnanandini Mataji, I met many times. And yes, the gratitude, you're right. She was always grateful regardless of the circumstance. And we could see, because the Acharya says that when we have gratitude, we attract grace. And we could see that grace on her face all the time. All the time, because gratitude and grace goes hand in hand. The grace of God. So that was so visible. And thank you for sharing that. And we are, of course, praying and keeping her in our prayers for her onward journey. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. In the continuation of that thought, please chant Hare Krishna mantra for her, Prabhu. So we can also join in our minds. Please chant 3 times.
Yes. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Rama,
Rama, Rama, Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for a short but focused class. And this discussion on gratitude also, it's very much touching. I have been thinking of Krishna and Mataji since yesterday. Even though like very few instances, just few times of association, how she has touched the hearts of many, many people. And as you're bringing, that kind of always being in that mode of gratitude and giving, how she attracted Srila Prabhupada's and Krishna's mercy in her life, and so joyfully giving that. And thank you for bringing that up in Bhishmadev's case also. One particular thing I was thinking, it always kind of disturbs me, the Draupadi's, that instance. It's not easy somehow. I mean, for my limited understanding, it's not easy for me to, think what Bhishmadev's stance was right, though we have been hearing many, many devotees' perspectives. But somehow a little light went on when you were sharing. He was actually following that principle of being on the duty platform, what Krishna was sharing in Bhagavad Gita. And then, this came to my thought. It's not that everyone has to do their duty only certain way. How Krishna inspires whom, in what way, for what purpose, we may not understand. But, definitely, as you're bringing up Krishna's personal presence for Bhishma Dev there, and all the demigods coming and honoring him, definitely shows he is like, exalted personalities, being one of the most selected 12 Mahajans. So that somehow helped me to understand that, I don't know, variegatedness or, how Krishna's creation, it's not like one casting for everything, one only, it has to be done only one way. So that was really nice. And thank you for bringing up this topic of gratitude. Every time, as Lingaraj Prabhu was mentioning, I keep hearing that from you. And it just brings so much of, that aspect of appreciating what Srila Prabhupada and what all the devotees are giving in our lives. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Yes, Bhishma Dev, you brought a beautiful point that there is not only one way to discharge the duty. And there is a subtle difference between doing the service and being in the mood of service. And we have seen in the case of the great devotee of Lord Rama, Hanuman, in the battlefield of Mahabharata, that Hanuman could have, with his immense power, could have ended the war within minutes, not days, but within minutes. But then Lord Krishna said, well, you're not fighting and you're not guiding, so you're just sitting there. And it would have been very hard for Hanuman to just sit there. And when he's got all the resources, power, strength, and capabilities to actually discharge the service in this case, which was to destroy the Kauravas. So that is so similarly, my reflection is that Bhishma Dev, during Draupadi's insult, understood the greater divine play, because he's one of the Mahajanas, and that he's going to be silent and in the mood of service rather than doing the service itself, which could have been just to chastise Duryodhana and showed him his place, but and to protect the dharma right there. But he kept quiet because he was in the mood of service. Thank you, Mataji, for sharing. And that also, that point that you brought up also, I want to say that brings up that there is different ways of discharging duties. Therefore, another reason why we shouldn't be judgmental of the without understanding, because there may be opposing ways of discharging duties, and both are accurately they're accurate and fine in the eyes of Lord Krishna. So there may be more than one way, and so we as conditioned souls shouldn't be judgmental how one is discharging their duty.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. That's such a profound point. I mean, I'm trying nowadays to really calm down and see that perspective. But in my beginning of Krishna conscious journey, I used to get so disturbed when I see different devotees doing services, or taking up different services in different ways. I'm like, this is not how it's supposed to be. Why are they doing that? Even so advanced devotees than me, I'm like, okay, they're not doing right. So I used to go into that judgmental mode so much, and it used to disturb me a lot. Of course, I was not expressing all that somehow because of faith in the process and association, but internally I used to get so disturbed. But thank you so much for bringing up that point to see things, even the devotees around us, in that light, not only Krishna and his pure devotees' actions. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. Your points are always very deep, and your classes are as well. Any other reflections, Prabhujis and Matajis? If not, I will close the class for today, and I will just say the prayer. And I also want to wish everyone a happy Diwali, and may your spiritual growth multiply during this Kartik month. Vanchakalpapasya cha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo